Hey everybody, I just realized I'm a minute early, so I'm gonna take that minute and try to figure out if I can do something productively quick and share this before I really get started, and then I'll be good. There's so much going on, so much to do. It's so fun to see everything that's happening. It's just awesome. Let's see. Next. Perfect. Now we're on. Now we'll see. Yeah, we already got people jumping on. It was really funny because I'm getting this set up. And getting it ready to go. And all of a sudden, somebody comments. And I'm like, how the hell do they see this? It's not even live. So I was wondering if they could see too, because I'm like, man, I just stopped and took a leak outside my truck. And I was like, it was already loaded, but not launched. So I didn't know. But evidently on YouTube, as soon as I kick it off, before I actually hit live, then you can launch it or see it getting ready or see the comments or something. But I was like, oh shit, I have to watch what I do and say as soon as I set the show up. And sometimes I do that, maybe a half hour before the show. So I did start laughing, but man, is this Okahei got things happening in a hurry. You step away, it's so damn addicting. I'm trying to get my ass out to the Black Hills so I can get to uh, set up my booth at Black Hills Harley, where Wild Ass Team is working their tails off. And I'm going to be set up right next to them, watching them do their magic, making sure everybody's ass stays cozy. And I'm like trying to get there, but pull over because I like gotta talk about people and I gotta do this, gotta do that. And now here I am, and I pull over to get this going, and I see Yas already hit the checkpoint. So I tell you what, man, that dude is a mile eating savage. So he's better swing into the Baptist church he's right next to and say a couple prayers. But this is pretty deep into the Bible Belt in Mississippi, so I'm sure there's a good opportunity for him to see that. Sometimes I read the things, I get sidetracked a little bit because my brain's not good enough to process me reading and trying to talk. So if you see me be like, that's just me reading something and being good to go. But yeah, that's just it. Yeah, Riot Uncensored. Yeah, Riot is barely censored to begin with, man. I have a filter that has like ginormous holes in it. I could never work radio because I know I let the F word slip and things like that every now and then because it's just like it is. Somebody left me a question in Messenger. Sorry about that. I can look at it maybe here, but otherwise I'll check it out. Sorry about that. I've been driving and not being overly productive, and now I'm in Sturgis. I'm literally right in town. I stopped at Walmart and got some groceries for the trailer, and I'm doing my thing. But back to this. Look at Yas. Like, I wanted to catch him at the checkpoint. I was hoping it'd be right at noon, but I think it was like I think Yas went through the checkpoint like you go through the drive-through at Dairy Queen. Like, stop, stick out your hand, and just card in one hand and grab your stuff, and away you go. Because Yas didn't chill out and spend a whole lot of time there because I didn't even catch him rolling, but I know where rolling or where Southern Thunder is, and it's up here, you know, somewhere right in here. I guess I could look it up, but it's above Hernando there and beneath. Uh, so it's got to be right in here somewhere. I'll look that up and I'll have that. I'll have a little more time, but it's underneath South Haven and Hernando. It's in between there. I think it's right in here. So he's clearly already been there, and English is on his way there, and Loco is coming up behind him, and Loco had some news, but I'm not sure if he shared his news yet or not. So, I gotta check that out before I share it. So, anyways, he's got some news he wants to tell everybody about. I don't know, Kayla, you on here? Did he share the news already? Somebody hit in there. If he shared the news, they would have saw it. Like I said, I've been busy getting ready for this. But here you go, your top riders in the Southern group: Yas, English, Loco, who is this, Pee Wee, and Chrisman. And I've said this 100 times, man. there's no surprise to see 190 in there. He is in the top percentage every single time. Every Hokahay, he is up there. Might not be top 5, might not be top, 6, 7, whatever, but man, he is gonna push you to your limits and really make you be aware of what he's got going on. Quiet dude. He ain't the one going to sit in the background yapping, talking about his accomplishments. He's just going to be like, yeah, chill, watch this. He lets his motorcycle do his explaining for him. So we get a quick look at where everybody else is at. I'm going to check the comments. Yes. Okay. Oh, hey, Loco's on. So Loco is on himself, and so it's good. But I talked to Loco just an hour ago, maybe Shitville, Mississippi, and he, at a stoplight, he filtered towards the front and got a ticket for that. That's not causing anybody any danger. That's not putting his life at risk. There's no motorists there. That's just a dick chief of police who should have gave him a warning, should have yelled at him, should have gave him a talking to maybe. I don't know. But that should have been it. There's no reason to wreck somebody's day and give them a suck moment instead of a oh shit, or give them a oh shit moment instead of a suck moment. So that didn't make me very happy. He is a monster rider, one of our premier riders, a mega monster, somebody who is really doing, good out there in the world and on this course. So, but it is what it is. That's part of the game. You get a ticket, you're out, and I don't make the rules. Like all things in life. I just bitch about them a little bit. That's my specialty. Bitch about the rules and try to figure out which ones are guidelines and which ones are rules. And he reached out to the people that run it, and they deemed that was a rule. That was a moving violation that fell into their bracket of tickets. So I give them credit. Because I know for a fact there's people right now with tickets in their pockets that aren't, enough integrity to own it and be like, yeah, I got a ticket. I'm going to keep riding. I'm going to do whatever. But he's going to continue on with his fundraising. And as long as he can fundraise, he's going to keep going. Otherwise, if there's no fundraising happening, he'll go home. He's traveling across the country. His motor was making a little noise before. But here's all your people ripping it up. This is where the group was last night, right here where Holdfast is, and look at how much they've gone since last night. When we closed the show, Yas and English were above Houston. So all of this they've done since 8 o'clock Central Time last night. So I think that's pretty good, including sleeping. So here's the whole Southern crew. They're really going along. Here's somebody that clearly is having a little trouble with something. Or maybe their wife is down here, but whatever it is, 1199 is not in the right place. So up through here, there's everybody rolling around. Somebody stopped. Whenever I see somebody kind of off onto a highway and tucked in somewhere, I'm like, man, I hope they didn't break down. I hope it's something that they just needed a part or something. That's a Harley Davidson right here. Javelina Harley is right there. So 1155, man, good luck getting whatever it is you need, because you wouldn't be dipping down there unless you needed something. Hopefully it's something simple like an oil change, something like that, and you'll be good. These riders are stopped. I have no idea the why. There's our Gypsy, some monster riders right here. This is the family that we had before, Gypsy and Thule. Mom and daughter, kind of fun. I wouldn't mind doing that. If my mom was a great rider, I wouldn't mind banging that out too. So there's a lot of riders getting spread out. And there's a lot of Riot trying to get words out of his mouth, and it just ain't working. So that's that. So here's Loco talking about it. Sorry, I'm not seeing the comments because I got to dip between screens here. Loco is going to, if he gets $250 a day for the charity, he's going to keep going. And in the comments, I'm going to post a link. to that, but I didn't have time to get set up because I was still driving. So in future broadcast, we will try to do that. Post a link where people want to donate and have all that. And if you have something else in here, you got somebody who rides for a cause and you want to put it in the comments, don't feel that, we are strictly about Mile Monsters and strictly about you're going to donate to us or you're not going to have it on the screen. That's not it, man. We are a charitable organization. We all have huge hearts for, especially like me, kids. You want to do something for kids, man. It's really hard for me to say, oh no, don't help that kid. You got to just do our jam. That's not it. So that's that. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about the colors before. Same thing. The colors of the circles are all that matter. The colors of the names mean nothing. People pick those on their own. You got the colors like this, green. Those are members of the Boost Fighters Motorcycle Club. Their colors are green. So obviously they're going to make all their trackers green. So that was a pretty good idea, actually. But Beastman's red there, a little off red because I see Crazy Eights. Snowden is right there, and that is red. But people are picking their own color and kind of making it their own thing. Helps with family, being able to track you quickly, whatever. But they're pretty spread out. I do want to see where Tomcat is. We've kind of been following him. This is the dude that banged out, the 4x4, wrecked 2 tires, had a suspension save his life. And, now he's out killing it and doing a great job. So that's awesome. I didn't see any circles that were black. I can't answer that because I don't know. The red means they're stopped. Motorcycle is shut off. And these trackers are a little different because the old trackers are wired to your bike. I don't know exactly how these are picking everything up when they're not, but that means you are stopped. And it used to be bike shut off, you're done. You just stop somewhere solid. But if you are moving, it's green. So I don't know if there's any black. I don't know if it's just a screen. There's a black right there. That's a good question then. I'm not sure. This looks black to me, I would say. Smiley, I really don't know. He's not moving. So, you know what I'm guessing? His tracker is dying. That's my guess. They got to charge these. So if I had to go out on a limb, I'm going to say black means you need to charge your system up. So that, I would guess that's a pretty good guess. So anyhow, that's what I'm guessing here. Let's see. There you go. Now people who know, tracker battery is dead. So that's somebody who knows. Here's somebody, if you know Rider 1178, tell them to charge his shit up because I think they have rules this year too. If you let it go dead and if you don't know how to charge it, anybody needs to get with somebody, they're USB-C. I saw them. They're just like charging every phone nowadays. So they're going to be on track with that. So, well, good. I'm glad I guessed right. Let's see. Let's go up to the Northern Crew. We got to see those guys. I want to go right to my new hero, Just Matt. I tell you what, man, just Matt. Has anybody commented who this is yet? So they got to have some damn family out there who knows what he is. Who he is? Let's see. No, I didn't see Locals Live. I missed that. Sorry. I was just driving. But I don't see anything about Just Matt. So Just Matt is up here in the UP redoing a very familiar road. He did that on his own. If somebody didn't catch the morning show, I was highlighting him because yesterday when we did a show, he was in first place way down here, right in central, bottom of Michigan, top of Ohio, Indiana corner, right in there somewhere. And I noticed he was on I-90, and I knew that he did not do that the proper area of the UP. I knew he didn't do it. And, I hope people go back and do it, whatever. But I saw him riding over there, and I thought he knows he didn't do it. And he's going home. I tell you what, I was not thinking he was going back for it. I got to be honest. So I got mad respect for Big Balls Matt because he's got a set of cojones on him that I don't know how he's sitting on that bike, but he's got balls to ride all the way underneath. He basically rode around Lake Michigan. He's on a second lap around Lake Michigan right now. And, you know, he went all the way back up here, did his thing, and now he's back on what he did yesterday. And there's no doubt in my mind, if you're that good of a rider and you're that gifted skill wise, he's going to be cranking down and he's going to be catching up with people. That he did an extra lap around Lake Michigan and he's going to be beating people who didn't. And that's just a fact because clearly he has the skills to rock it out. Iceman is getting his motorcycle rebuilt one part at a time. So they're throwing parts at it and putting bearings in and clutch bushings and taking it for a ride to find out it still sounds like a machine gun and still have a problem with vibrations. So now they're putting a gearbox in. So piece by piece, he's getting his motorcycle done, but we'll get the details on that later. But Iceman is, you know, resting, chilling out, sleeping outside at the Harley dealership, kind of being a celebrity at the dealership because his bike's pretty decked out. You know how it is when these riders, you know, have their thing going on and, you know, the average Joe who rides 3,000 miles a year sees that shit. They want to talk about it. And they're in awe about meeting people who actually do what these riders are doing. All right. Anybody got anything in the comments I need to see? Adam, there's Adam right there. What's the story with you, Adam? I know that he was having a few issues as well, but let's see. You have a message. Oh, I have a message about Matt. Now I got to check my messages because somebody's hit me up. So I'm going to look at my messages and check it out. I should have checked this much earlier. There's too many places to get messages from. I wish they would just be like, here you go. But instead, they send me messages about, you know, I have different groups and different things. So if somebody sends me a message, I don't know if they're sending it to Mile Monsters, if they're sending it to me personally. So I got to look at two different things, and there we go. Let's see. This is from Elizabeth Thomas. Matt is my brother-in-law. He and my sister own a Harley shop, Classic American Thunder in Beloit, Ohio. That is awesome. This is his second Hoka Hey. He is an elite finisher from 2022, and he is riding for a local veterans group, Hogs Helping Heroes. So that's pretty badass. All right, are we still there? Hopefully we're there. I got to share everything again. Oh my God. Let me see. Somebody give me a that people are back on and it is back live. I think it's still on and it's good. Let's see if you all right, I'm back. All right, let me share my screen again. these damn trucks and their bullshit. I got to tell you, let me share my screen and I'll be good. Oh, crap. Let me open up my tab again and I'll really be good. Oh, my God. This is too funny. These trucks have too much nonsense and too much technology for me. I'm just an old school biker, and that's that. So I got to regroup here because what happened was when you let a truck run for a half an hour, they shut off if you don't notice that's happening. So I don't know, wasn't very happy about that, but what are you going to do? So I'm back. I just got to regroup and get things set right, and I'll be good. Oh man, if you're going to be dumb, you better have a good sense of humor too. So that's that. I got all this technology. The problem is I don't have enough skills to run technology. So there's that. Anyhow, we're back in business. I got it up. But anyhow, I got that message from Matt that they own the Harley shop, Classic American Thunder, Beloit, Ohio, and he rides for a good group. So that's awesome. I'm going to send a little Miss Elizabeth Thomas a message to see if we can't get him his Venmo, because I would love to buy him a tank of gas. He's clearly a rider, and he is going around Lake Michigan, doing laps of Lake Michigan while he's doing the whole K, and that's pretty impressive. Have his Venmo. There you go. And Elizabeth, if you happen to be watching, thank you for that. And where am I right now? Riot is in downtown Sturgis. I am 3 blocks away from the Mayhem. It's not quite Mayhem yet, still kind of Sissyville, but people that are afraid of Mayhem, come early. So that's kind of what's going on right now. They call it pre-rally. I call it Sissyville because they're afraid of running into too many real bikers that are going to, intimidate them or, knock their latte out of their hand. So they come early and get pictures and get the I was at Sturgis shirts, stuff like that. So that's that. And I can share what I was saying if I can figure out how to share it. That's another thing. Here, I'll share it with you. This is what I was saying about Matt. There, that's hillbilly sharing. See that? I'm only kidding. I will share that. I'll put that on here. Maybe the next show I'll have that figured out. Well, I can screenshot it. And I have figured that out. But anyhow, I'll get it figured out. And we'll share some info. In the meantime, if Elizabeth Thomas is watching this and you can get me some more info, links to his charity, whatever you want to do, that would be awesome. And somebody said, what is up with just Matt? Why is he doing Lake Michigan laps? It's not because he wants to test how many miles he can put on. It's because he missed part of the route. The Hokahay gives you a set route, a set directions, and you have to follow them all. If you deviate from them, you did not ride the ride. And up here, there was a bunch of people that made mistakes. And if you think it was just Matt, that wasn't it. Just Matt is the one we highlighted because right where he is right now, this is where Iceman was when he had to turn around and go back to do some things he missed right here. And that's 100 and some miles. That was a journey. It was till the next day that he got caught up, and that was a journey. Matt was way down here when he realized it. He was right about here where Gritty Bell is. I think, if I remember right, he was right about here when he figured it out. So that's really going back. So, and I just got to give it up to him, man. I don't know him at all. I'm sure I've seen him. He rode in it before, so I'm sure I've seen him, but I just can't stress enough how much integrity that dude has and how hard that is to keep it going and how hard it is to, not just be like, damn, I am done. And he's from Ohio. He's right next to his house. He could have easily just went home and been like, yep, I screwed it up and I got booted. But he didn't. He went hundreds and hundreds of miles back, and now he's doing it all. So I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Uh, it's absolutely nuts, and that's the skills that it takes to master the Hoka. I said it yesterday. There's people that are really good in twisties. There are people that are really good at riding long times, without sleep. Lots of people that are really good at eating on the fly, gas and go, really, really good at high speed open road riding. And some are very good at mapping, but very few can bundle that into one package and whoop ass like these people out front. Like anybody out in front, if you're in the top third of your group, that's pretty damn good. You're in the top 40 of 130 people, you're somebody who's got your shit dialed in. If you're in the middle of the pack, you are a great rider. And there's no doubt about it. You're in the back of the pack, you are 1,000 times better than any dude you see riding around on the highway, who talks about being able to do this. A lot of people talk about doing it. Yeah. If I had more time, I could have been a pro baseball player too. I would have hit home runs and I would have beat Barry Bonds' record. You know what? Yeah, bullshit. People are gifted at what they do, and you're not just going to magically jump in that group and be like, yeah, I could do that. I'd do that. No, you wouldn't. If you could, you would. And that's that. That's how I feel about it anyhow. And here we got a group of four. The group of four, I would think that this group of four right here, Dirty Dan, Roadrunner, Ren, and Teeter, there will not be any mistakes there. That is four riders that know what the hell they're doing and can ride. They got skills, they got mapping, they got speed. I mean, Teeter has put on 300 more miles than the other three. So I'm guessing he's going to need a nap, and he's going to have to dip back a little bit and rest at some point, because you just can't ride super hard. And when you got things to make up and you get caught up, it's all good. But we're early on in this. But those four right there, when you got skilled riders like that riding together, you don't make a lot of mistakes. One of those four is going to know that they missed a turn or a turn's coming up. And even if they're not riding together as pals, when somebody's behind me and they took a left, I was very concerned with why they took a left and I didn't. So they might not be friends. They might not have each other's phone numbers. They might not even be talking, but they are paying attention to what the other one does. So whoever's in the lead might be in the lead, but out of the four, if you blow it off, there's some big advantages to that. And if three people are riding together, there's no excuse that you miss a road. If you're three people riding together, then you better be paying attention, even if you're the third one in the line. There's no time for dummy time. Like, you got to be paying attention and watch their back. So if the leader misses it, you're not just the blind leading the blind, and you're just not like, oh, what a nice day to follow behind. That's the mental discipline you have to have. But here's the other group. Same thing. These riders are killing it. You got Yas. Like, it's fun to watch this because I have no idea where the hell they're going. And, it's fun to watch them just meander around. What part of the country they're coming to, where they're going, what they're doing. And English is getting dang close to the checkpoint. So you'll be able to watch him. If you're watching this tracker after lunch, you'll be able to see it and see where he's going, and see exactly where that is. Got Loco, who's still in it. Pee Wee and Chrisman are kind of split up. But you see, these top riders in this group, they're not riding together. So you got Yas, English, Loco, Pee Wee, and Chrisman. These top five here, they're all very close to each other. One could catch the other one, no problem. If they want to just ride hard, they'd catch them at this point. They're all pretty close. But the problem when they have five like this that aren't riding together, each one of these guys has to follow the map on their own. And this is where somebody will lose a position and be really angry. Like, I'll use English right now. If English misses something right here and he ends up heading into Tennessee the wrong way, then Loco is going to come in right behind him and go to the checkpoint. That's how you lose positions when you're out front and you're by yourself. Your choices are just magnified that much more than they are in the back. If you're in the back, you're in the pack, you get back in it, and not a lot of people notice. But out front, you're really going to notice it. And these are the leaders of the two group right here. You know, all the way back, we got the original Nicholson and Stevens. You kind of get used to. There's Gopher rounding out the top 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. Gopher's in 9. As we know, Loco is not going to be a finisher, so he'd be technically 7. We got Terry right here. She rides for Children's Hunger. I know that. I'm going to check the comments, make sure I didn't anything. If he I'll put this up there instead of me just reading it. If he misses part and does 1,000 miles after correctly, does he have to go back to the part he missed and ride? Yes. Yes. If you deviate from the course, the minute, let me go back to somebody. Let's say right here, I'll just use Gopher because he's right here and I know him. So let's say Gopher is right there. Everybody sees where Gopher's at. Now let's say Gopher realizes he missed something right here, right where Martin is. Gopher looks back and he's like, oh shit, I missed that right where he is. I didn't go on that, you know, whatever. And they can look at their own stuff. They can look back at their own maps. They can look back at their own trackers. So if Gopher takes off, jumps on the interstate, rips around through here, gets up to Martin, does the 100 miles he missed, maybe it was Medicine Park, he didn't go down Main Street, he went down the other road, whatever it is, you go around and he recorrects that. He can't just get on the interstate and go back to where he is now and continue on. It doesn't work like that. Once you deviate from the course, everything that's happened after that is deviated from the course. It never happened. So Gopher has to go back to where Martin is, Medicine Park, wherever he made that mistake. Now he corrected it, but he starts from right there and he continues on, and he would do all of this down here where Golson is, down here where Doobie is, and he would keep on going around and he would work his way back to here. Might be a full day of riding mishaps, but he has to go from the point he was off. He has to go back to that. And that's why you will see Matt, just Matt, or if we want to, as I prefer to call him, Big Balls Matt, you see him? He already rode this. See that? He already rode that. Something's going to look familiar to him, except he did it at night, so now he's going to see it during the daytime. He's going to be very familiar with the UP, I'll say that much, and Michigan. And he's from Ohio, so he's probably used to those areas anyhow. So he's probably seeing, you know, it'd be like me riding around Pennsylvania 3 times. Like, I've seen that, but oh well. Anyhow, so I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome. I'm going to put a big plug in for his motorcycle shop. Keep that in mind. If anybody needs anything in Ohio, we'll find out where that is exactly. And somebody sent me a message too and says, right, how do they figure out they goofed? Like, how would someone realize they have to fix it? I'm not 100% sure because I'm not riding. You used to be able to log in. They have a tracker on their bike. The Hokahei has access to it, and they had access to it. They could go back and look at their own tracker and see their tracks. But a lot of people carry their own private trackers. Like on my bike, on any given day, I have 3 trackers. I have a Zoleo, I have a Garmin InReach, and I have my phone, which has an app on it I can track. So a lot of these guys are using Rever. So they have their phone hooked to Rever. It's logging their miles, which kind of does the same, looks like this, except you can't share it in a group. But there's a million ways. So they're serious riders have ways of tracking it outside of what the Hokahei provides them. But the Hokahei trackers, they can look at that route and they can look at that and be like, oh, shit. And when you look back at your directions and you're looking at your route that you rode, you're sitting around at night. And that's what I'm guessing just Matt did, is he stopped for the night or maybe stopped for dinner. You stop for dinner, you're going to get your shit out and you're going to check it out. And I'm guessing that's what he did. I don't know for sure, but whatever it is, he realized it. And, you know, a lot of times people realize they make a wrong turn because the next turns aren't adding up. The mileage isn't working. It's like, man, it says on my directions in 100 miles, I got to take a right on County Road 12. But when I got to County Road 12, I've only been on that road 50 miles. And then they'll be like, "Oh, they must have the directions wrong." But the next one might not work out too. So there's usually some flags that go off when you're looking at the map. And I used to tell people, and I still do, like, look at where you're at in the field. If somebody catches you, if you're out front and all of a sudden somebody catches you, that's not how it works. You don't just catch somebody in this. Where Dirty Dan is right there on the tracker, and you see Santos here, you think that's nothing between the two. All right, that's nothing. Oh, you can just catch them. That's hours upon hours upon hours of riding. That's probably a 7-hour riding difference, 6 hours maybe. And maybe that's a bad example, but if you're back here where Dale is to Dirty Dan, that's a long ways. That's probably more like your 7 hours right there. But anyhow, so if somebody all of a sudden catches you, somebody cut the course. Either you missed something as the leader and something went up and came back down and you missed it, or the guy behind you missed something to get up to you. When people are giving it their all and the people behind them are giving it their all, you don't just magically catch people. It's a slow process. I mean, I've ridden with people. I've tried to catch them. They knew I was coming. Still took 6-7 hours to catch them, and I was a half hour behind. So it just doesn't happen. And countless times on rides that I've been on, somebody caught me, and I'm like, there's no way that dude caught me. Like, he had to miss something. And I would stop and make sure I didn't miss something, like cut the route somehow. But when I realized I was right, then I'm like, I don't have to look at theirs anymore. I know that they're out. So, and doing everything right for 11,000 miles is not easy, and you look at these roads here, like these are secondary roads. I don't know who rider 1254 is, D, but I just happened to zoom in. Like, this is not freeway. Look at this. This is farm country. Looks like there's I don't even know what this is here. Somebody's little track. Looks like a dirt track or something. Hey, D, if you stop that bike, if D happens to be on the show where you ride, if you go back and do one lap on the track, I'll pay your gas bill for the rest of the Hokahay. One lap so you watch your tracker, D, around this little dirt track. Jumps and whoop-de-doos will get your hotels covered at the next stopping point too. So, God, I'd love somebody to bust into that course and take a lap. Should peg that and send it to everybody. And here's a good one. Have the printed directions ever been wrong? Hell to the yeah, they've been wrong. And sometimes that's part of the challenge. They'll say take a left and you're supposed to take a right. But you go down, it tells you you're supposed to take a left. And the next turn is in 8 miles, and you get 8 miles, there's no road there. You go 10 miles, all right, man, I got to go back. You go back, you take a right, and they made a mistake. I think they're getting way better at it, and the people that pre-ride it, I know who pre-rode it this year. I think they're pretty good at double-checking the mistakes like that. So I don't think they happen a lot, but what will happen is roads get closed, things like that. So, you do happen, Yeah, I do have a map. The problem is, you want to see my map of the United States and Canada. My problem is, I just started using Rever a couple years ago, and my Spotwalla map, I started using that just a couple years ago. It's pretty full. If I had a lifetime map, I could show you, but it's pretty full. But I didn't really use a lot of that because I didn't really care, That's just not how I roll. Don't really give a shit. But yeah, but riders will have to make up. You might have to make up an entire day. I know people that's happened to, cost them an entire day. It's like, it's pretty awesome. And this is pretty cool. Somebody sent an email to the business. His wife said he was upset about the air, but wanted to be a finisher. And that's balls right there. That's really what the Hokahay is all about. That Just Matt has been the poster. He should be on the next year's poster for the Hokahay, because that's what the Hokahay is about. Having integrity, not having the challenge have to tell you, you did something wrong, sorry, you got to go back. Not having to have a babysitter. He realized it. I don't care who told him. Maybe somebody realized it and sent him a text. Hey, dude, like, you missed a major part. Like, then he checked his own. I have no idea how he found out. I don't give a shit. All I know is Just Matt did an incredible thing and just owned it. First place he was in. Remember that. First place he was in and thought, shit, I'm out front, but I missed something. I got to go make it right. And there he went through the night, got up there, and now he's banging through, and now he's in nearly last place, first to last. And that's how much your placement matters. First to last, and nobody's going to give a shit. But everybody's going to remember Big Balls Matt because he did a lap around Lake Michigan where nobody else did. So somebody asked where the track was too, but it's going to be crazy, to do that. And I just think it's, pretty awesome. I don't know where the track is. I got to go back and see it. It's where D was. So we'll see where D is, and I can backtrack a little bit because it was right off of that road, and I don't know, it stood up pretty good. D's hauling ass. There's the track. It's right down the road from Stroll Repair. The track is on the corner of McGavin Road and 3001 road or highway, whatever that is. So basically, yeah, right there. And I would assume that's a track, wouldn't you? I didn't ride a dirt bike as a kid, but I don't know. It's a pedal bike track, a go-kart track, or whatever it is, a motorcycle could go on it. It looks like there's a little bit of access right here. It definitely, whoever owns this field, right here, look at that. The driver, you ride right in on this road. And make sure you send that to me because I want to get a screenshot of somebody on that track making a lap. Somebody does that, I'm really going to laugh. That's pretty cool. People catching riders going through. Roadrunner is a rider that rides for Mile Monsters. I had the privilege of riding with him when I did a ride this spring. It was really cool. And he is a great rider. I've talked about him before. He has a great big heart. It's always beating for helping others. He's got an awesome family, a huge support group, cheering him on and doing an awesome job. It's fun to watch him. I knew he'd be one to watch after I spent a couple days with him, watching how he set up camp, how he got rolling. He's no joke, and I knew he'd be doing good. So it's awesome to see him doing good. All right. We have a rider coming into a checkpoint. I got to stay long enough to see that. And it's just because it's a checkpoint. It has nothing to do with English. Is a friend of mine. And I love to watch what he does. All right. So English is coming in. And English is a great dude. He is a veteran. Like I said, he belongs to the Boost Fighters Motorcycle Club. He's dedicated. He's motivated. And he's very skilled. He has the skills it takes to do what he's doing. As far as, ride hard, ride fast, stop, sleep little, sleep on the concrete, eat properly, and embrace the suck. He is somebody that all the sucky parts of riding for 14 days, the food, the conditions, the weather, I don't feel that that's going to affect him at all. Like, I feel like he's going to just eat the suck up for lunch and keep going. And the rest of it comes down to just skills and ability to ride. And, no matter where he comes in, he's giving it 100%. If he comes in 10th place, he's going to be a joy to watch because he gives it. He's raising money for a veterans organization, 22 Mohawks. I don't have a link for that, but it's a great organization. I saw some of his videos. Maybe his wife can post a link on here to his Facebook page. Group, whatever he's got. He started a group. Maybe I'll do that. It's hard for me to do everything and not make the show freaking fall apart because I'm over here doing too many things. There's no way to show how many miles each rider has ridden, but I do know. Let's see. I think I had it written down how many miles it is to the checkpoint. If you bear with me for 1 second, I will look that up quick, because that tells them how many miles it was. And let's see. So checkpoint to checkpoint. Thought I had it written down here. I guess not. I had it written down. Thought I did, but I don't find it. So sorry about that. Oh yeah, there it is. 2,700 miles from where they started to the checkpoint. So this set of directions that English just rode is 2,700 miles from where they started on Sunday morning to where they are right now. And when you put that into perspective, that is the same as going from New York to just shy of LA. So that is literally riding across the country. And he left on Sunday morning at 6 a.m., maybe a little after 6 a.m. on country roads. Like, I think that's insane to think that somebody did that, you know? I don't know where he's going right now. He's getting close, though. I think he might have missed a turn. This is what I was talking about. When you're by yourself, things aren't as easy. And there's Southern Harley right there. So, yeah, he just missed a turn. So, second place, you just miss one turn, and there you're done. So, there's Southern Thunder right there. So, we can cheer him on. So, everybody give him a clap when he pulls in. We'll pretend like we're there. We're there with him in spirit. I feel like I'm there. Let's get a view of what he's seeing as he rolls into it. Yeah, he's behind a semi right now. It's a live camera on his helmet. That's my story. But he's rolling in, just cruising down the road. See how the view's even changing? We're literally watching him pull into the checkpoint. And that's why I do dig these trackers, like how accurate they are. If you were at the checkpoint right now, you'd be standing up, knowing he's going to come in. I haven't found out. I didn't ask any details, so I have no idea if somebody is, from the Hoka, if they have something set up there or not. I'll find out those details later, but whatever it is. But he's going to come in, and you're going to see how long he takes there. Yas, the old mile eater, he didn't take much time there because we didn't get to see him at all. And he must have had enough sardines or oysters or whatever crap food he was eating this morning or dinner, because he just skipped right by a Wendy's. And there he is at Southern Thunder. So he'd be pulling in right now. Looks like there's a frontage road or something. We can probably even zoom in more. Yeah, this is so crazy because they'll have directions to get there, and I don't even know how it works. How the directions work, but there's Southern Thunder right there. I don't know where he's going. This might be, I haven't looked at this at all, and I didn't watch Yas. They might be straight gangster and brought him right by it to continue on. And maybe Yas wasn't there yet. Maybe they have more miles to do before the checkpoint. Man, that is gangster. If that's the case, dope. Embrace the suck, my man, if they're sending you right by it, because that stings. In 2018, Spokane, Washington was a checkpoint, and we went right by it. I could see the sign. I was so tired and angry at the world. I just wanted to sleep. And that was the most brutal 400 miles I've ever ridden in my life, was a loop up and around it to come right back to what I just drove right past. And I can't believe they would do that again. Like, that's just mean, Steve, for setting a route up like this. So I don't know. We'll have to stay tuned. But where is I don't think maybe Yas is coming back here. I don't know. Did anybody see if Yas went to the checkpoint? Because that is a tease, and Yas has been there. All right. I figured somebody would have seen him pull in, and that's crazy. Yeah, this is what they're averaging. That's pretty amazing. I like all the comments because now people can understand what they're going through. Well, they have an 8-day of the northern states from Florida. That's only 2,700 miles. Yeah, that's somebody going on an 8-day trip. And they did 2,700 miles since Sunday morning on back roads. So that is absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It is just completely badass. And when they get, this is a good one right here. When they get to the next checkpoint, they get to the checkpoint and then they get to another set of new directions. So they get a set of directions. I'm thinking that English might have just missed the turn. And he might not have seen their turn, might have been Venture Drive or Pepper Chase Drive. Either one of these is going to get you to it. I'm not really sure. But I'm thinking he just went past it. Now yep, that's exactly what happened. And that's a prime example of what's going on here with him. He went past it, and why he noticed it, I don't even have to guess. I don't even have to call him and ask him. I guarantee you he's looking at his mileage. He clicked it. He made that turn back there a couple miles, and then you automatically reset your mileage thing, and it'll tell you the next turn in approximately 1 mile. Okay. Now he missed the turn, but he knows that it's not 3 miles up the road. So he went a mile out of his way and he's like, okay, it's got to be back here. So now he just whips a U-wing, goes back and gave us something to talk about. So I'll have to send him a can of oysters as a thank you for giving us that. This segment was brought to you by English, Booze Fighter English, who made one wrong turn that added 2 miles to his 11,000 mile journey. So, but this 2 miles is brought to you by him because he gave us a chance to talk about gangster routing that would have put it by it and how he figured it out. So that's pretty awesome. But he's coming in. He'll be at that checkpoint soon. But that's what I'm talking about when you have a person by themselves. Like you by yourself, like, yeah, he's like, ah, shit, that sucks. And then he's going to be like, that damn riot had me highlighted right when I make a mistake. But I had you highlighted because you're a badass rider, my friend, and you just happen to make a mistake. But that's all good. We all know where he's going. It's right here. And what's this nonsense, silliness? A charging system station. I hope that's for the electric bike and they're not encouraging their workers to come in those little. All right, we'll get on to something else. Talk about bikers and fun stuff. All right. All right, check the comments here while he's going. Yeah. There's somebody did the ride for our heroes last year, 5,600 miles of highway miles. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, here's 2028. The problem that I'm in they should give you an alternate route through Africa and be like, if you can't come to the States, you can do Africa and we'll give you a route and have you do that. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, you could enter. I think you could enter, especially if you send Beth an email explaining your situation and where you are and all that good stuff. I think you'd have no problem entering. I think you just got to start the process right now. And that. So here we go. Somebody who was watching Yas do it. Yeah, he didn't go past the dealership. Well, anybody can go to the dealership, but not everybody can add, some miles. It's pretty funny to look at the tracker. It's like and if you notice, there's a median in that road. So he had to go past it again, get around that median, and then come down. He passed the Circle K. So he's not hungry. He eats pretty healthy too. Like English is a pretty he's a man's man. He doesn't have a dad bod. because he eats good, gets some exercise. There he is, man. Oh, we can cheer him on. If he pulls his bike to that charging station, and charges it up, I'll never talk to him again. And I'll be asking how we can block him from view. But that's not the case, because he's riding a man's bike. This dealership is a nice place, too. I actually really like this. He just rear-ended a car. That's pretty good. I want to see how much time he spends there, but that's really awesome, man. Congratulations to English hitting the first checkpoint. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of all these riders that can hit a checkpoint. It's super exciting, you know. Sitting at home, you're like, oh, congratulations to another Harley dealership. When you're a rider, the feeling you get when you hit that checkpoint is like, nailed it. You know, got here. It's like there's a banner there to sign. You're signing the banner. It gives you a feel for how many people are in front of you. If you get there and the banner has a signature on it, you're like, second place, man. I'm kicking ass. If you get there and there's 100 names on it, you're like, ooh, I better pick up the pace, if you even care. I rode the best I could ever ride a motorcycle. I thought, I am a beast. I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm just killing it. I'm riding like I stole it. I slept 3 hours, heading to a checkpoint. I'm like, man, I got to be in the top 5 for sure. You know, I'm just absolutely nailing it. I walk in the checkpoint. All I see is names on the board. I sign it. I was like 25th or 30th, whatever it was. I was like, a damn. And then the manager of the Harley place, I said, did you see the guy that's in first place? Did you see him? He goes, yeah. And I did not know Billy, champion of 2018. A champion's champion. I didn't know him at the time. Now he's a really good friend of mine. But at the time, I didn't know who he was. I just knew it was Billy Foltz. I had to laugh my ass off because the manager says to me, yeah, he came in. He looked like death warmed over, like he hadn't slept since the checkpoint. He laid down there, took a 45-minute nap while he got a bike serviced or whatever they did. And he got up and he looked like he had slept 8 hours, and he was out the door and taken off. And the dude pats me on the shoulder and says, yeah, good luck catching that dude. And I didn't catch him. So it was absolutely amazing. But that's the level of riders you have, man. Like, you give it your all, you give it your best, and you think, man, I'm the shit. And then you find out that, yeah, you're the shit, all right. You're the shitty part of the crew. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny, and it was really, really good to see. But it's pretty cool. Let's see. That's funny. Kayla's talking, but yeah, this is it's frustrating. He's a badass and he wants to finish. This is Loco's wife who got up. She's on the West Coast, so it's a little bit late. He was getting DQ'd before she was even out of bed. So she's having her coffee and morning catch-up time to find out that he got 86th. So for a bullshit ticket too. So whatever. But anyhow, we're going to kill this. I got things to do. It's been almost an hour of coverage, and originally when I started this, I'm like, we're going to do this for a half hour. That'll be plenty of time to talk about it. Your group of 4 out there is all good. They're the same group of 4D, a few more. Marky Mark bringing that up. A lot of monsters out there still killing it, doing a great job. We got Rolo here. That's one of our monsters. Let's see. What else we got? Who we got here? Soup. That's another one. Eric. That's another one. Value. Let's see where my Frosty's at. Frosty. Oh, they got another joining in. Cotton, it was. God, I can't even go there. Going so fast, can't even. Well, there's Value. I saw her. Where's Frosty at? She's got to be there. Maybe Value. Oh, there's Frosty right here. So Frosty is stopped. They got separated. It was Frosty and Value and Rob. So they split up, and now Pat joined in. So Pat and Frosty are racing side by side, handlebar to handlebar, coming in turn 3, and there goes Frosty. Pat's coming right up. I don't think he's on the sidewalk. I think the tracker is a little bit off right there. If Pat Smith, rider 1175, is on the city sidewalk, I'd like some footage of that from a 360. That would be pretty awesome. But they're coming through town here. If you're communicating with any of these riders, if this is your friends and family, please send them a message to be careful out there. Don't pay attention to who's in front, who's in back. Just ride their ride, get some sleep, get some rest. Make sure you fuel the body, mind, and bike with the fuel it needs to get 11,000 miles, or one of those three is going to collapse around day 7 or 8. Body, bike, mind, if you don't take care of them all. Can't run a bike at 100 miles an hour in the high heat 20 hours a day and expect it not to have problems. You can't run your body on Pop-Tarts and Snickers and not expect to have problems. You can't run your mind on caffeine and no sleep and expect not to have problems. So mind, body, and bike, fuel them, rest them, and relay that message to your people, and they will enjoy the ride. So with that, I'm out of here. One more check to make sure we didn't have that. The goat wants me to check a Mandy, but I'm not sure. Like, there's no Mandy that comes up. Let me check the tracker once to see. Is there a Mandy? Mandy? No, there's no Mandy. No results found, goat. Oh, I got too many N's. Sorry. Mandy. Yeah, there's no results, goat. I don't know. But if I was going to check, and maybe wanted to check, I'm going to check my Frosty before we go. So, yeah, there she is. But, goat, I don't know what to tell you, man. There's no Mandy in the ride. So, with that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys at 7. Tune in 7 p.m. Central Time. Get some monster updates, some hero updates. We're going to get Turbo on the show. One of our heroes, one of the kids who actually has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. We're going to get him on the show and do a little talking with him, and he can tell you about monsters and what monsters do for him, and we'll be all good. So in the meantime, I'm going to go search for a Mandy that's on there. I don't know what Mandy is, and you have her 360. Is she a competitor, goat? I don't know, but doesn't seem to be. So with that, I'm saying goodbye. Peace out.